This is part 2 of the interview with Tony Granger. We were just talking about the Campaign Palace, which had a 40-year history. Seemed like a good time to sort of close it up if it wasn't quite working currently. But it's not dead, apparently. It's put in a shelf somewhere for future use. I mean, is that really the case?
Well, actually,
according to the press release.
well, you know, it was a very difficult decision. Obviously, you know, the palace has got this amazing brand, and actually we haven't shut the brand down. We actually opening up palace offices across Asia, actually, and they're doing very well. It just didn't make sense for us in Sydney.
Yeah.
You know, we have a couple of companies in Sydney. We wanted to consolidate. The business in the Campaign Palace felt, you know, was aligning with JWT. So it just didn't make sense for us.
Yeah. Two overheads to many
absolutely.
people. Yeah.
And what we thought we'd do is we'd move our people and the business, you know, save jobs and whatnot, move our people and the business into JWT. It just made far more sense. And we've shelved the brand for the time being in Australia. But like I said, we're using that brand across the world. We're opening up more Campaign Palaces across the world. So it's shelved.
Is it purely like an Asian rollout, do you think?
No.
I mean, so it can still go to New York like they one day thought they would. That'd be interesting to see.
Yeah.
And then they came back to Australia finally.
Exactly.
Be one of those things. Yeah. Because
we wanted to focus on Pat.
Of course. And then Pat is, ironically, is the creative powerhouse. Now,
right.
I mean, we shouldn't be, but it is.
You know, Melbourne's doing so well.
Exactly. So they're acting like a little hot shop.
Terrific.
And
and then, you know, I mean, that agency has evolved so beautifully from a traditional agency into an agency that is
leading and integrated and anything new. They're very
absolutely.
I think they're amazing. And
I mean, look at the gold lions they got this year, right? Yeah. It was all for mobile and media.
All new shit.
And
that's fabulous. That's sort of kept up to date with everything. So that's good in a way. The palace has got some sort of future somewhere. What other with say New Zealand, for our little New Zealand listeners, you've got Josh Morin, and he's a fabulous, great creative, underrated. I always thought he's been great, and he's done big things at little shops before. So this is sort of back to a bigger shop again. Is it a bit of a challenge to New Zealand? I mean, you know,
well, you know, New Zealand, from my perspective, New Zealand should be an amazing creative agency, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, look at
the rest of them.
Look at those agencies. They just produce amazing work.
Yeah.
And our shop has been very quiet there. So
they're trying to crank that up.
Yeah, you know, I took my time in finding the right person, and I think Josh has got the right determination, the right focus, the right.
He loves creative, and he can do things. Yeah,
I think he can do it. You know, and
he's here in Cannes, sort of getting the buzz.
Yeah, he was actually a cyber judge this year.
Of course he was. Yeah.
So
he'll be gearing up for next year's event.
Yeah, and he's brought in some really good people.
Yes, he has. Yeah.
He's starting to bring in new business.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to do well there. I think he's going to do well, hopefully. Yeah.
So let's talk about. We were back to South America before. What are they doing down there? They seem to be doing a lot of great things in general in South America. They used to just be the Prince Kings, but they're doing a lot more other things now, aren't they? I mean, they're just doing a lot of good work. They seem happier. Yeah. They've survived the recession. Like Brazil is like the 4th biggest economy in the world or something now, isn't it? So
Brazil's going gangbusters.
Exactly.
Really.
So what are they doing? Did they forget there is a recession, or there's some sort of disaster going on in Greece?
You know I think
they go, hey,
Europe's.
I could see all their suits when they come in. You know, they're dressing well again.
You know, I mean, Brazil's got the World Cup coming to them.
That's what it is.
And they've got the Olympics coming to them, right? So
it's a
there's
perfect
just
storm.
This feeling that it's our time now.
Yes.
You know, and it's a
we used to have that in Sydney in 2000. London's got it right this minute.
Yeah,
yes.
London.
So you had it in South Africa only a couple of years ago.
It made a huge difference to the country. You know, just the infrastructure development and the pride and.
Does that reflect in advertising? Do you reckon that is the key? It gets the advertising people excited too.
Yeah, absolutely, it gets clients excited, gets them spending. So I think it's really good.
So there's a lot of psychology in advertising for people. You've got to keep the creators happy and excited, motivated. So it's a good lesson, isn't it?
Yeah, sure.
You can't bury them. You can't put them in front of clients if they're no good at clients.
Well, I
don't know what.
I have the belief that creatives should be seeing clients all the time.
Except the ones you don't want them to go near.
Well, they should.
You've had a few great creators who said don't go near the clients.
Yeah.
We won't mention names.
I want my creators to be connected with the clients.
They're all grown-up creators. You've got some nice grown-up creators.
I want my clients to talk to creators to talk to clients, for them to have a relationship, for them to pick up the phone and say, hey,
they are much closer these days.
Really
it's almost a half a suit level. Some of these the agents with the creatives, they're going out to dinner with them or something, and they're encouraging them to. What about this great idea? They go to football together.
Great creative people are half suit, half strategist, and creative. Well, that would make more than one person, but
But you've always been a bit like that.
I got to be, right?
Yeah, Nobby was a bit like that because and Groger's like that. It's amazing that maybe it was that sort of background, the closeness you used to have with when you were at Hunter Scarlets. I mean, you know your clients like that.
Absolutely.
Same with Saatchi.
Absolutely.
And often the bigger networks have this huge gap between the two, where they only deal with the senior creative managing director and not even see a creative.
I think that's completely wrong.
Yes,
I think clients should have access to creatives,
and they love it too. They love it. Yeah, it's more fun really for them.
And then they're not talking through people to get to the creative community.
Yeah, exactly.
Because things get kind of lost in translation.
What about the media changes over the last 5 years? Everything's sort of gone mobile, I think, almost. That seems to be the next sort of convergence.
Yeah.
I mean, are you sort of... obviously the idea is still the central thing. Is it just a matter of keeping that idea the centre of everything still? I mean, and worry about the technology later?
This is the most exciting time in our business since television. It really is.
Yeah.
Every week there's something new. Every week there's some new way to connect to the audience, right? To our audiences. Facebook is doing great things. Microsoft is doing great things. Apple is going to come out with a new way of watching television. A new iPhone coming out soon. My personal belief is that we're not going to have the laptops going to be irrelevant in 5 years' time as the cloud gets stronger. As people kind of put more stuff onto the cloud, there's no need for any, memory or anything on these devices. So it's all going to be mobile. And
mobile or just slightly bigger than the iPhone.
Yeah.
So I like the Samsung. The Samsung Notes a lot of that stuff.
I mean, the new iPhone's coming out. It's a little bit bigger.
Because they've obviously seen what Samsung have done.
Yeah.
And I bet they've.
So you're not going to have computers in 5 years' time. It's all going to be mobile.
Yeah. Well, when I was just on that point in Asia, when I did get my Samsung Note, it's about that size.
Yeah.
It was perfect for watching TV.
Right.
I mean, you don't need if you're on a train from Osaka to Bleeding, whatever, for 2 hours, they're all like this with a bigger screen, but still enough to sort of put in the pocket.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at South Africa, if you look at Asia, if you look at India, they've kind of quantum leaped here's a desktop computer, and then desktop computer gets thinner, and then it gets mobile, and then it gets it's a laptop, and then it gets portable. They've just gone straight into mobile.
Yeah.
And mobile is going to be absolutely huge. And you've got to think about mobile not as just a device, but think of your car as mobile.
Yeah.
Right. So now the screen in your car is mobile. And what amazing things can we do with those screens in people's cars? How can we connect them to deals as you driving down the road? Or this gas station can sell that gas cheaper than that. You should go to here. You have your voice coming in telling you, gas station on the left is actually, you can talk to your car.
Got a great special on blah, blah,
where do I go?
Yeah.
The car can.
What's the cheapest price for the petrol?
Exactly.
In my 5-mile radius.
You can push. I'm hungry. Where's the local McDonald's? Your car will be able to tell you.
Take you there.
If you go to this McDonald's, here's a coupon for free fries or whatever. So
you can see those dollars.
So it really and soon you're going to be driving your cars, right? So it's a whole new world that we're going into. It's a really exciting world. And for me, what's so exciting is that, like I said, we have so many new ways of connecting with audiences, of really connecting, really building relationships, and being, part of audiences' lives, constantly.
Yeah.
That's the.
So being creative is
amazing
actually understanding that the environment all these things are in, to figure out, put yourself in their place. What do I want to do? What would entice me to do something? That's the sort of creativity. It's not so much that, we're going to do a great commercial with 5 lines in it, and it's going to go shot on a beach in Africa. More's the pity, but you've got to be the consumer's the centre of the of the experience.
And it's interesting, I mean, you have ex-traditional agencies winning. Cyber lines, PR lines, direct lines, and then direct agencies, producing more traditional work, digital agencies, it's all merging, and so it should, because, of course there's still the need for digital agencies, and of course there's still the need for PR agencies, but everyone's becoming a bit of a generalist, and that's a cool thing, so as a creative, your ideas now can span many media channels, rather than having to just focus on, gee, I've got to do this kind of 30-second commercial. Yeah, you've got to do the 30-second commercial because that still works a storm. Yeah. But then, how do you connect that?
Yeah.
How do you create the backstory to it?
Yeah.
How do you keep people involved with it? Can that 30-second spot be the trailer for something else?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the really exciting thing. How do I connect with Hollywood? How do I, et cetera, et cetera. It's just. It's an exciting time.
Yeah, because this year they've got branded content and entertainment line.
Yeah, I think this
about
year,
time, but it's
about time.
Geez, that I can see that taking off.
I think this year is the year where digital really grew up. This year, like last year, the year before, it was kind of gimmicky. Amazing. There's some amazing work there. Kind of gimmicky. This year, it really grew up. It really became kind of part of the fabric of our industry, and it's really exciting to see, because in digital, it brings all the craft to bear that print, the craft of print and type and whatnot, design, radio, the sound, music, film, it brings all into one thing. It's really exciting.
There's some good quality coming back in that situation.
Have
a lot
of freedom idea. Have a great idea and make it a really rich, deep experience.
So how important is design to life? I mean, I've got this Nike field there.
Yeah, it's awesome, right?
It's only one of those. Exactly. It's only one of those things that you probably would have strapped around your thing running around the block somewhere. Which is now. And the big difference is it's the design that's done it, and functionality. And you can unplug it and put it in your computer, and it syncs with your iPhone.
Awesome.
All that shit. We'll just go and see Nick Law in New York.
Nick, can I have
Nick, I'll slot you something. But that's what it's all about. It's probably why the Apple iPhone, it was simply a phone, but then they just made it. It was beautifully designed. It functioned properly. There was seamless integration with everything was eye this, eye that, and that's it's almost like industrial design is leading the way too. There's a lot of things, so people are very excited, but they would buy this, and that they wouldn't buy a pedometer that sort of almost does this. I mean, so you're selling a lot more dreams, but this thing came out of an agency as well. So there's still a central place for an agency like RGA, and in your territory, with your group of agencies. Are you ever going to get into sort of really thinking of ideas for products?
Yes.
Trying to get things IP on the things.
Yes.
The clients have always had the IP corner. So is that without giving it away, obviously, but that's your thinking too.
So, and sharing IP, sharing ideas. Look, we've always been designing products for clients. Agencies have always done that. Saatchi used to do that all the time, right? Y&R used to do that all the time. Absolutely. So that's nothing
table.
Yeah, that's nothing new. But your question, is design important? Absolutely, design is important. Apple, Steve Jobs, was all about design.
Right, yeah.
You know that little blinking, on this computer, you know that little blinking...
that thing.
That thing? That is the average human breath. Right?
Ah.
And it's tactile and it's beautiful, and you open it up and the box is amazing and the whole experience is beautiful, right? So, and
Because
it's one
it
of the
makes you
aspects
want to
of
love
Apple.
having this product.
People love
And
Apple.
you pay well for it.
Sure.
In fact, it's a lot cheaper these days, but you know you've got a great quality product.
Design is very important.
That's what the Nike, the Bill Band came in a beautiful box,
Yeah,
very Apple influence.
yeah.
But boy, you just want one.
You know,
This is
Microsoft
great.
is starting to design some
They are coming because they were the dog of the
beautiful-
business before in terms of design factor. They were making the money in the big grunts, and the
Absolutely.
90% of the world had the IBMs.
They've
but
embraced design. Their products are cool.
they're here absolutely
slicker,
massively enforced.
Amazing.
I've noticed their look is getting very much slicker.
Yeah, absolutely. They've got
so
some really great.
Watch out
product
for
coming
them.
out.
I think they see
Yep.
Google and their fabulous design.